Hello and welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to do a little bit of an update here and really just talk through why I've not managed to do a few things that I would have liked to have done. And this camera is very good, it's on my phone, but it makes my bench look a lot messier than it is, he says. But it's when you're practically using it, it doesn't look like it does on the screen. So what we've got here is the Ryfield Tiger, which we've mentioned about, and I did a review of recently. So my end to 2024 was not great. 2024 was a pretty bad year for me overall, although birth of my first child, wonderful. But from then on, there was a lot of life challenges thrown towards me, which was there's quite a lot of serious health issues from close family members. And that ended on the 30th of December as well, where we had another one. So that's not been great. And the way it was happening is it was kind of spread out between sort of, you had being in hospital with my child, and then 3 months later, one of these people went down. The next 3 months, they went down again. So it left just enough time for me to sort of start coming back to the bench, getting ready, and then something else would happen. So that has slowed me down somewhat, but things are looking up now. So everything's fine, and immediate family, as in my daughter and partner, we're all fine. So yeah, so one of those things with the way things go, it was a bit challenging. So what's it now? It's the 20th coming up. So again, now I'm just starting to get back to the bench. So I started the RFM Tiger because really I was I've got the glove on because handling this one was just about to be finished. In fact, on the 30th of December, I was painting the figures up to think about this one coming to a base, and you know what it's like. 2 weeks later, I didn't really want to come back and start that. Luckily, the model's finished, and so's the figure. So I think what I'm going to do is, it's got a glove on, he's holding it without the glove. It's silly, isn't it? I think I'm going to just put this one out as it is. A couple of things to say. I had a masterclass in how to weather this by my good friend Dan. I won't fully name him to embarrass him, but a lot of you know a very good armour modeler by the first name Dan. And as I look at this, I can see lots of his style in this, which is great. I keep looking at this model and wondering how I managed to do it. It's so much better than anything I've done. And of course, having him talking me through it is the reason to that. So what I wanted to do is progress this, and this is my plan. The actual Otto Tiger right there was going to be the next one. I was going to jump straight in, and then I was going to kind of try and remember what he told me and do it my way, to try and put a bit of my influence in it, to see if, in a year or two I can develop my own style. Because it's all very well, everyone wants to be night shift, for instance, but it's good to have a little bit of you in it. I think that's how I look. So very grateful for that being talked through over Messenger. And we both got carried away. The more I did, the more he advised. And then as it started to come out looking good, we both sort of started getting excited and carried away and said, do this, do that, do everything else. But yeah, it was, it's really good. And it looks great. You can't see it very well on this camera because it won't focus. And I mean, there we are. It probably just looks like a dusty tank in terrible lighting, but the amount of intricacy that's in it, you'll know when we do the actual video. I've not done anything like it. And I want to jump straight into the Panzer 1C and do it. So we start again. Don't know how long that's going to be. I've learned not to suggest time frames. So I'm slowly nudging back now. So that's why there's been a slight delay and a little bit of lack of content. So let's talk about what's on the bench. The Ryfield Model Late Tiger 1. I've got this one built up with the working suspension now, which is great. Comes in the kit like that. It's a bit tricky to do it, but I can show you how to do that on the video. I've just finished last night. I got the rear deck in, and I've put the little bits of Zimmer on using green stuff where it's just lacking. So you've just got there, and there's a bit of a gap down along there. So I put all of that in. I'm just trying to do this one as a clean build. The tank I'm doing is a replacement tank, so it was quite clean. So I just want to get a nice clean build of a subject I absolutely love. And that's a good thing for, you know, when you're a little bit fragile in the old mojo department. And I did bring back, he says, can't see it, I put them in the box, but I'm going to pimp this Tiger a little bit, because I've got some Ryfield Model tracks already made up, so I'm going to do them, and I've got the metal barrel out of the tack-on mid kit, and I'm going to try and chuck that in there. So we'll give it a good go. I'll be bringing you updates on that as and when. I might even just break it up and say, oh look, here's a part 1 video, or I might just wait until it's all done. I will say, getting that into paint seems an awful long way away, but I think I can get the build done at least, if nothing else. So looking ahead, I've got some exciting builds on the way. So like we said, we've got the Panzer one. There's a Polycarpov here that only needs just a little bit of panel line washing, and that's done. I've got the Otto Tiger that I'm going to be doing a little bit on as well. I've done some figure painting. I know it sounds like I'm saying I've got a lot to come, and I've also said, oh, I've been struggling a bit. It's as and when. So I'm hoping to get content up as we go through continuously, but it might be things like reviews. It might be, like I said, you get a part 1 of that Tiger, and then you might not see anything for a month, but the rest will come. It will keep going. There's a little bit of disruption on the horizon, but I'm sure it'll be okay. My plan is not to have as big a break as I usually do when I get busy at work. There's all sorts of plans in the pipeline. It's very exciting this year. So if it all comes off, you'll have a lot to see, because I'll have a lot to film. So we'll just leave it at that for the minute. Now on that, Christmas happened, and with Christmas comes presents. The long-awaited Holy Grail kit that's left. I can't think, now I've got this in my ownership, I can't think of anything else that's a Holy Grail kit for me. So I think I've got them all. Lovely kit. I'm going to try and not reinvent, put a different spin on inbox reviews. I think there's a video to be had of me looking for a kit that isn't just, oh yes, this is sprue A and this is sprue B and that's the instructions. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, thanks very much. I think I can, there's a lot I can talk about as far as what I want this to be, and everything else. So I'm going to go along and do that. And I mean, this is just an absolute beast for weathering. It's just classic. So that is, I'm glad I got that. And then also, fast turning into my favourite manufacturer, SDK said 234 Panzer Spar wagon. So it's like the Puma and all of that. I didn't want to get the Puma. I've got the Italieri kit that I actually want to, try and do a sort of modern take of the old way. That's another thing. We won't talk about that now, but like Shep Payne, Verlinden and Tony Greenland, that was something I would have already done. I've got videos I want to do about those guys and where I came from the hobby, and because I grew up in that, believe it or not. I started the hobby in the 90s. I never really stopped, whereas a lot of people started early 2000s when the move had changed and you were starting with the sort of from MiG onwards. My vibe is Verlinden, Shep Payne, like 80s for some reason, even though I was only born then. Anyway, so this one's got both sets of wheels. So the great thing you can do here is you can have half and half, which a lot of these did. They look really mixed up with different tyre treads on the wheels, and you get all of them. It's great. So I'm going to do a nice in-depth look at this box as well, among others, because I've got more kits. Retail therapy for buying kits. There we go. Who knew? So once again, thanks for sticking with the channel as it is. It's been a little bit, I mean, you might not have noticed this. You might have thought there's been plenty of content, but from my point of view, it's been a bit light. And I would have liked to have done a lot more than I have already. And I've got lots of plans going forward. So stick with the channel. Subscribers are going up nicely and views are carrying on lovely. So everything's ticking on nicely from my point of view, but I would like to get more videos on the channel and more engaging content. So I'm hoping to do that this year. So as always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.